Hello people, in this lecture I will teach you about HTML helpers. Well, basically the name says HTML helpers come to help you writing plain HTML. Let's first start with first setting the model of our view. Let's say register VM. You have to put it in the views import, the namespace of our view models. All right. First, we can write our form just like this, but we can use HTML helper to do basically the same thing using HTML begin form. The first parameter will be the action. We want the action sign up. The second parameter is a controller name with is register. And the third parameter is HTTP method with is form method post. Basically, this is the same thing as this. You can write whichever you feel more comfortable. The second HTML helper that I want to show to you is HTML text box form, which is basically the same thing. The first parameter is the expression for the property that we want to bind to this input, and the second parameter is the HTML attributes like we want, which can be a class, form control, can be a placeholder like enter your name. It has to put a comma right here. This thing that we have here is basically the same thing, but what is give me an error? I think it's this, right? This is basically the same thing that we write just up here. So write which one you are more comfortable with. But this one is more like secure because if we misspell this, you see, you have an error. We have a HTML helper for labels. HTML for labels. Label for x dots. I don't know why that is appearing to me when I just x, but let's just not focus on that. You have an HTML helper for password. Password for password. New class. I hope it did. Yeah, again. Okay. Form control. See, there is another useful HTML helper with is for validation. Validation message form. Let's say name. Name field is required. The second parameter is the message, and the third parameter it is the HTML attribute, which is text danger. You have other kinds of HTML helper like text box, text area 4, which the name is pretty explained in itself. You have a checkbox. You have a checkbox that is for Boolean. There are other kinds of HTML helpers, but I will not explain it all in one lecture. So let's see this form. in practice, you'll see that you will have the same results in the next lecture. So you see, the name field is required. It is an span. So let's say let's do block to put it in the next line, and you'll see the result will be the same as it was the last lecture.